Look, on the spin, fires for the win! Got it! Look, the 30, the 20.
If he throws a goal,
It's insane. One of the greatest postseason performers ever.
is Carroll. He's got it. And the Arizona Diamondbacks are headed to the World Series.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the AZ Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphreys. Give us a quick like and subscribe if you would, if you're watching this. It's draft night, recording this at 9 p.m. local time. The Phoenix Suns just drafted Koa Peat with the last pick in the first round of the NBA draft. I can't believe they did it. They went for it. They absolutely went for it. They went for the hometown kid from Chandler, Arizona, and I think it was a great pick by them. Looks like the Suns acquired this pick from the Knicks for the number 47th overall pick and 2 future first-round picks, according to Arizona Sports' John Gambadoro. The future second-round picks are in 29 and 2033. So, Pete was an incredible player at the college level, and I don't have a script for this, guys. I'm just going off the cuff. So, we're just out here doing this live. And by the way, this was a guy that the Suns were linked to throughout the draft process, not just because he was a hometown kid, but because this guy fits a need that this Suns team has, and its size, physicality, rebounding, rim pressure. Man, Koa Peat can do all of that for this team. I am excited. What I'm not excited about is that Koa Peat's shot mechanics weren't awesome to begin with, but they've gotten even worse during the draft process. So we are going to have to see some improvement from that right away. But let's not let that take away from what he did in college, which was be one of the top players on a team that went to the Final Four. He averaged 14 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, which is pretty high for the role he was playing. 52.8% from the field, 35% from three on low volumes. It's not a real stat. 62% from the free throw line, not great. You definitely want that to get above 70 in his career. Win shares 4.6. Let's see. And then his conference stats, average a little less points per game. He did deal with an injury during conference play that caused him to miss a couple of games, but averaged 13.4 points, 5.1 total rebounds, and 2.6 assists. So not a ton of drop off in conference play. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. So his true shooting percentage was 55.7%. His free throw rate was really high. Let's see. Good offensive rebound rate, 9.1. Arizona crashed the glass a ton, so that's not surprising at all. Let's see. Let's look at how he ranked. So 2-point field goals in the Big 12, he ranked 5th. Really good numbers there. 52.8% from the field, ranked 4th. In the Big 12, I'm looking at. Let's see. 2-point field goal attempts, he ranked 6th. Win shares per 40 minutes, 17th. Points produced, 19th. Effective field goal percentage, 13th. Let's see here. Anything else that jumps off the page on his basketball reference? Nothing too crazy, and nothing too alarming either outside of the 3-point shooting. And like I've said, the videos that you saw on Instagram probably tanked his draft stock, because this was a guy who, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. 2026 NBA draft. NBA mock draft. Let's go November 2025. Let's see. Let's see. This is gonna be hard to find live, but we'll figure it out. Let's tools anytime custom range. Let's go. Let's go October 1st to December 1st. Go. Okay. This is ESPN's mock draft from November 18th, 2025 by Jeremy Wu. Peterson, DeBonsa, that flipped. Cameron Boozer, third. Yep. Nate Ament, he dropped. Caleb Wilson, one spot higher. Michael Brown did go, he did go 6, but to a different team. That's crazy. Chris Sinek, he dropped a lot. Koa Peat, number 8 to the Dallas Mavericks. And at that point, he was averaging 16.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in 4 games. So this was early on in the college basketball season. Obviously, his incredible debut against Florida to start off the season. If you want to go see what Co-opete looks like at his best, let's go watch him. Just go watch him play against Florida in that first game. It kind of shows you everything you want to know. This is also a guy who played for Team USA, the under 19s, and was one of the guys that they played through a lot. This is a guy who has excellent feel for the game of basketball. He just knows how to play the game of basketball. He's very smart. He's very cerebral. Really good at making the right play, whether that's shoot, drive, or dish. Unfortunately, the shot is and the ability to score outside of 10 feet from the rim is what is the big concern with Co-opete. But I absolutely think that the Suns made the right choice by trying to trade up and get this guy. Why? Because this is a guy who's been a projected lottery pick for a couple years now leading up to this draft. And while his stock did drop late in the draft process, say that many times fast. His stock dropped late in the draft process. This is a guy more than worth taking a swing on, not to mention he's from the hometown. Not sure if he's a Suns fan. I'm sure we'll find out soon. There's going to be a lot of bios written about him in the coming days to follow, and we'll have more coverage here at AZ Sports Podcast as well. Co-opete NBA fandom. Let's see if anything pops up real quick. Let's see. He's a guy who's won 4 state championships in high school. He's won 4 gold medals for USA basketball in junior and World Cup play. This guy is just a winner. This guy fits everything the Suns want. He's 6'7", so he's undersized for a 4, but he is a larger 4 than what the Suns have right now, which is Ryan Dunn. Rasheer Fleming's a little bit bigger, taller, I would say, but definitely not as compact. Co-opete is 6. Let's see. Sports Reference has him at 6'8". Let's see. Google has him at 6'7". So he's probably 6'8" with shoes on. He's 235 pounds. So big guy. Let's see if we can find his measurables. Co-opete measurements. Okay, so 6'7" barefoot, 245 pounds. He boasts a 6'11" wingspan and a 8'8" standing reach. Let's see. No step vertical, 34 inches. Max vertical, 37.5 inches. Pretty impressive that his no step vertical is 34.5 inches. I mean, this isn't a guy who's going to be playing below the rim. This is a guy who can jump, who can finish. I watched him a lot this year. Arizona was one of the best teams in college basketball, and obviously, I host an AZ Sports podcast, so I try and stay up to date on all things Arizona sports, and I just love Arizona basketball. I mean, sue me, right? This is a guy who is well worth the risk, in my opinion. Let's look at his NBA Draft.net analysis. They have him compared to Chuck Hayes or Trevor Booker. Brings a blue collar mentality with toughness, motor, and competitiveness that consistently shows up on both ends. 100% great defender. Really good instincts, relying more on effort and activity level than creativity. That's true. He just kind of brute forces you under the basket. Um, he is a good passer. 2.7 assists for not being a predominant playmaker for the Wildcats. I mean, he's great. Now, what's great about this move is not just the fact that he's good, which I think he's good, and I think he's going to at least turn into a valuable role player. The superstar potential that a lot of NBA franchises were hoping he could turn into. Maybe not, probably not, especially, he went 30, so you're not expecting a guy at 30 to become an all-star or anything like that. I don't have that expectation for him either. But as far as a guy that can come in probably and hopefully right away, we'll see what happens this year, because as we saw last year, we took a guy at the number 10 pick and we took a guy at 31. Yeah. This is a guy who was picked one spot ahead of Rasheer Fleming last season. And neither of those guys really got quality minutes. Rasheer did at the very end of the season. Honestly, mostly due to Dylan Brooks being out for a month. But we just really didn't see those guys play. Let's hope that we can see Koa Peat play a whole lot more this upcoming season than we saw Rasheer and Kaman Malawach play. But you look at this front court now. You look at Rasheer Fleming, Kaman Malawach, and Koa Peat. All guys with a lot of question marks around them, but all guys with tantalizing athleticism, which has got to make you at least excited as a Suns fan, and especially for Summer League. Like, I assume all three of those guys are going to start and play a lot during Summer League, so it's going to be really interesting to see how those guys look together on the court, although I don't think we're going to see all three of those guys on a court together very often during the NBA regular season, but just getting to see all of them on the court is going to be exciting. We'll see if the Suns trade into another second round pick. Maybe there's someone in the 40s. Yeah, there could be someone in the 40s or 50s that they might swoop in on at the last second and draft. But look, here's the thing. With college NIL, the second round of the draft is a lot slimmer than it used to be 4 or 5 years ago. You're not getting the same level of talent in the second round, so those picks are even less meaningful. So when you can trade up for a guy who is a projected lottery pick just a few months ago that dropped to 30, you have to spend the draft capital of multiple second round picks to take a shot at that guy, especially when you have the roster spot open and the roster and it's a position of need for the roster. Like, they were probably going to have to go out, and they probably still will go out and try and find the best vet minimum power forward on the market that they can find. They tried doing a version of that with Nigel Hayes Davis last year, and it didn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, let's see. Let's read his weaknesses according to DraftNet or NBA Draft.net. Defense is a notable concern. Struggles to guard in space due to average foot speed and lateral quickness, which can be exposed against quicker forwards and perimeter-oriented matchups. Undersized for defending elite interior players and lacks length and vertical pop to consistently contest or protect the rim against high-level athletes. On top of size concerns, his athleticism does not stand out. Further limits his ceiling below the rim athlete who doesn't offer much vertical explosiveness as a finisher, rim protector. I think I disagree with that. I mean, I don't think he's going to be like poster dunking on guys, but a 34.5 standing vertical with no step is pretty impressive, and it shows that there's a lot of strength there, and he could potentially, if he slims down, I imagine for his development, probably slimming down more to 235 or 230, 225 even might benefit him. We'll see what he decides to do if he tries to go even more on gaining mass, or if he tries to slim down and get a little bit more athletic. I think that could help him. Let's see. Consistency as a shooter is a concern. Obviously, yep. Not a high volume scorer, raising up. Okay, 14.1 points per game in college is pretty decent. There's many picks in the first round that average less than 14.1 points per game. And especially on one of the best, deepest teams in the country too. I don't know. Free throw shooting is a concern. That's true. He could benefit from getting more tone and improving overall conditioning. Defensive impact is more positional than disruptive, lacking high steal block rates. That's also true. Look, this is a guy that has lots of weaknesses, but also has lots of strengths. Like this is a guy that will definitely be an impact player for the Suns in the next couple of years, or he will be out of the league. Like, it's very. I mean, you can say that with any guy drafted in the NBA, honestly. But this is a guy that the Suns absolutely had to take a swing on, and even if it doesn't work out, it was 100% the right decision to go out and get this guy, get a guy who was projected to be in the lottery. A few months ago, and take a chance on this being the worst basketball stretch of his career over since February up until the draft. Let's hope that the Suns can dial in that 3-point shot. I mean, Ryan Dunn doesn't make a ton of 3-point shots, but he has greatly improved from his college days. So maybe the Suns can get Koa Peat to an even adequate level of a 3-point shooter. And if they're able to do that, then I think that they have a really good problem on their hands, and that is who's the future starter at power forward, and it's Rasheer Fleming or Koa Peat. I'll take that. I would have taken that if you told me when I woke up this morning that the Phoenix Suns were going to take Koa Peat in the NBA draft. I would have said, heck yeah, absolutely, let's go. It's a guy who just wins. You can look at all the flaws, the lack of quickness and like elite athleticism. But I think what gets lost on that is he's also super strong, and so what he lacks in vertical ability, he can absolutely make up with his strength. And if you're worried about his athleticism, he went up against, in my opinion, an NBA caliber front line multiple times this year against Florida. Against let's see, they played Michigan. He didn't play great. But there were games in the tournament that he played well in, and against good front lines as well. So if you're worried about that, go watch his game against Florida. It can show you that he does possess the talent to overcome his lack of size and lack of truly explosive vertical jump ability. And yeah, I just couldn't be more excited because it just shows that this front office knows exactly what they're doing, and they're making smart decisions. Credit to Brian Gregory, Matt Ishbia, Jordan Ott. Please play this guy year one of his rookie season, even if things go poorly at first. Like, can't protect these guys. Just throw them out there and see what they can do. And if they can perform, great. And if they can't, unfortunately, that's how it goes when you're picking late in the draft. But the Suns absolutely needed a talent like this on the roster. and they got it. No matter what the cost, this was absolutely worth it. We'll see. Maybe there's a Royce O'Neal or Grayson Allen trade or a Ryan Dunn trade coming up tomorrow for them to swing some second round picks. I still wouldn't mind seeing Trevin Brazil in a Phoenix Suns uniform. I know that's kind of crazy to say because he was in college for forever and didn't always he showed lots of negatives as well as positives, but give me a guy with that length, that size, that ability to shoot. That's a guy I would circle for sure. Let's see. There was who else did Gambo have on that list, which he did not have today? Uh John Gambo, Doro, Phoenix Suns. Let's see. And then, oh, yeah, a guy like, let's see, Trevin Brazil. I like Bobby Miller, decent player. Joshua Jefferson, I believe. Let me just double check real quick. And let me just double check real quick to see if all those guys are still on the board, because I believe that they are. Let's see who's let's see who's still on the board. So, Terrace Reed went, Chris Sinak went. Okay, Joshua Jefferson did go to the Timberwolves. Missed that. Alex Caravan went to, well, Joshua Jefferson got drafted. If you went to Brooklyn or Minnesota, I have no idea. Let's see. Looks like he was traded to Brooklyn. And then Alex Caravan went to Sacramento. Koa Peat went to the Suns. Now let's look at the best available prospects who I could see the Suns going up and drafting. So Henry Vasar, if they were somehow able to get back into the top of the second round, that's a 7-footer who showed the ability to stretch the floor and score decently well in the post this season at North Carolina. Wouldn't mind seeing the Suns go ahead and take a swing at that guy, but I doubt they will. Gambo didn't have him on there, and I trust Gambo. Baba Miller is also up there. Let's see. Personal favorite of mine, Richie Saunders. Probably not a guy that the Suns are interested in, but Sam Vecini did have a first-round grade on him, so I believe there's value there, and he's just a great role player shooter. Braden Smith, probably not because you just re-signed Colin Gillespie, but I wouldn't mind that. Trevin Brazil is the 11th best prospect available, so if you map that out, that's 41, so they'd have to trade up 6 spots higher than they were already drafting. They were interested in Jaden Bradley. They had him in for a workout. Ended up taking his teammate. That he's at 13. Bryce Hopkins from St. John's is a good forward. That would be around the 45 pick mark according to ESPN. Wouldn't hate seeing that. That's a guy who battled injuries his whole career. But when he did play it at his peak, he was really good. Much better shooter. Let's see. Toby Awaka, that's a guy who we'll see what happens with Awaka. If he's a guy that's still there after 50, I think you try and just buy a pick and take him. Because I think he would want to go to Phoenix just because it's close to the team that he played in college for the last few seasons, even though he's not from the state of Arizona like Pete is. But that's definitely a guy that would be worth it. That's a guy who plays really good defense, is a stone wall on defense. There were many times that guards tried to switch into Toby Awaka this year in the Big 12, and they thought it was a mismatch, but unfortunately, those guards found out pretty quickly it's really hard to beat Toby Awaka off the dribble, and you can't move him. So when you put your shoulder into him, usually it's you who's suffering the consequences. And I think he was the best offensive rebounder in college basketball this season. So Toby Awaka is definitely a guy that I could see them giving a two-way deal to. Anyone else? Tyler Nichols, shooter. Nate Biddle, probably not, but a tall guy who can shoot. Let's see. Otega Owe is a downhill slashing guard that I would be interested in for them to take. Tyler Bilodeau, he's ranked 32nd right now. That's outside the draft, so that could be a two-way guy that the Suns go after. Who else did I like? Man. Let's see. It seems like they were in on Tamin Lipsey. I'm out on Tamin Lipsey. I would not like that. Keyshawn Hall and Darian Williams are both undersized scoring forwards. They were really good in college, so if they went and gave one of those guys a two-way contract, I would not be shocked at all if they went out and did that. Let's see. Yeah, no one else is really jumping out to me. Maybe Milos Uzan is a good two-way guard. Let's see. Malik Renault, same boat as some of the other guys. Pretty good scoring forward in college, but a little undersized, strength-wise. Jackson Kohler, I love watching him in college. That's a guy who, and also went to Michigan State, so maybe that's a two-way guy, or a potential 10-day guy in the future, just because of the Michigan State connections. If you guys catch my drift. Let's see. Fletcher Lawyer was a great shooter in college at Purdue, so some potential options. Not too many guys in the second round that I would consider drafting up for once you get past. Let's see. Once you get past. Where was it? Yeah, Awaka. Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah. So Toby Awaka. That's probably the last guy that I would consider like trading back into the second round for. Everyone else, just try and sign him to a two-way contract and hope you score big there, because this front office has shown that they've done really good on the margins. They drafted Oso Ighodaro at 41 before that, but I believe when Brian Gregory was in the building, they did draft Tamani Kamara. Wow, what a absolute home run second round pick that was. And we've seen what he's developed into Portland. Wouldn't it be nice to have that guy on the roster right now? Maybe it would have been worth keeping DA just to have Tamani Kamara. I'm not sure. Just kidding. Getting DA had to get rid of DA, but man, Tamani Kamara would be so nice to have on the Suns right now. Difficult situation. Difficult situation there for sure. One of the many guys. Most of the Suns draft whiffs in recent memory have been just them not taking the guys. That was a guy that you actually had in the building and that everyone knew was going to be good once he was in the building. But unfortunately, Portland Trail Blazers also knew that he was going to be awesome. And so they stood firm and weren't going to take DA without Tamani Kamara. So, that's one I wish we could have back for sure as a Suns fan. I mean, no doubt about that. And we'll get into Suns redraftables for sure. I mean, we could draft an all-star team just in the last 10 years of guys that the Suns easily should have drafted and just didn't draft for whatever reason, for whatever dumb reason there was at the time. None of those reasons were good enough, obviously. So that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch the full podcast version, there's a playlist right here that you can click on. If you want to watch more videos, you can click over here. And please remember to always, always, always like the video, comment on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We're all there all the time. So please follow us. Please continue to support the AZ Sports Podcast. And I will see you on the next episode.